pound for pound rankings, a very heated subject in the sport of boxing. People are thinking, who is the best? And I'm going to tell you who is the best. But first of all, before going over my top 5, I want to give special mentions of the boxers that just miss out and why they're not in the top 5. First, we've got Beterbiev. He loses out because I think he loses to Bivol. He has got more belts than Bivol, but I don't think he's better than Bivol. We've also got Tank Davis, who I need to go into a video on him, how he's one of the most overrated boxers in boxing, because people think he's very good, and he isn't. He plays for money fights, he doesn't fight the best, and I don't rate him. They're the two I'd like to give a special mention to because they're in the talk of it, but I just don't think they're good enough to get into the top 5. So starting off at 5th, I've got Terence Bud Crawford. I know what you're thinking. Terence Crawford, he should be first. In my opinion, I don't think he should. The Ring have him at 3rd, and that is a very special reason because Crawford, I think he's a 2-weight world champion. I know he has all the belts, and he beat Errol Spence Jr. People say he is the best. I just don't think he is. I don't think he's done as much as the 4 ahead of him. He hasn't done as much in the sport. He's still a very good boxer and definitely in the talking of pound for pound best. If he fought Canelo, Canelo would beat him. He's way too bigger than him. So he doesn't really have much big fights left. He wants that Canelo fight because he wants the Saudi money, but I don't think it'll ever happen because they're just too big of a weight difference. And even if Terence Crawford does go up to Canelo's weight, Canelo will just beat him. And it'll be a catch weight most likely because Canelo isn't going to come down much further than middleweight. Terence Crawford is going to not be able to get super middleweight, or he's going to be fat pretty much. So going up to 4th, Dimitri Bivol. I've got to at 4th place. Dimitri Bivol is currently the WBA world champion. He just come off a win after Beterbiev pulled out due to an injury. And that is the main fight in the light heavyweight division that we all want to see, Bivol Beterbiev. And who wins that fight? I believe Bivol. He's one of the best jabs. He has the best jab in boxing, plain and simple. And he beat Canelo, and I have Canelo higher than him on the list, mainly because Canelo is a multi-weight world champion and there isn't much left to do with him. And he went all the way up to light heavyweight to fight Bivol, and still did very well in that fight, but just wasn't well enough to beat Bivol. And if Bivol can beat one of the best pound-for-pound boxers in the world, he deserves to be at least 4th. And I think he beats Beterbiev when they fight, and to be one of the best light heavyweights in the world ever. So at 3rd, I've got Naoya Inoue, the Japanese. And yes, I know what you're thinking. He should be a weight higher. He should be 1st. I don't think he's 1st. Plain and simple, I know what you're thinking. I don't think he's heavy enough. And you can't have a pound-for-pound best if he's, lower than lightweight division. I think he's a very good boxer. And he did get knocked down when he fought the Mexican not too long ago. I did watch that fight. But he isn't heavy enough to be one of the best. He doesn't get the best pay-per-view numbers because he's too light. And there isn't much competition in the lower weights. Other than, you got middleweights, got a lot of competition. Heavyweights, loads of competition. If he was a higher weight, if he was a lightweight, and he was doing all this, maybe he would be pound for pound. Obviously, there's a talk of him fighting Tank. I don't know really who would win that fight. Probably Tank because he's much bigger. And Naoya Inoue said he wouldn't fight Tank because there's too much of a weight difference. But if he doesn't fight Tank, or he doesn't fight someone in the lightweight division, he can't really say he's the pound for pound best in the world when he's fighting at such a low weight. No one knows who he's fighting against. That's why I've put him at 3rd. I do respect him because he's done so much in boxing. He's multi-weight world champion. Fair enough to him, but if he beats Tank, he's high up on the list. But until he does, he isn't. At 2nd, and I did have this man at 1st. Guessing you know who it is. It's Canelo Alvarez. Canelo, I think before we got to number 1, and before he had that recent fight, I think Canelo was the best boxer in the world. I know he did lose to Bivol, and everyone thinking, well, he lost to Bivol. People didn't write him off as much. As you can see, he beat Jaime Munguia. Beautiful knockout. And I think Canelo, he's nearly at top. If he beat Bivol, he would definitely be pound for pound right now. Obviously, there's talk of Canelo fighting Terence Crawford. Canelo would win that. Canelo has done so much in his career that he deserves to be in the talking of 1st and 2nd. And I've put him at 2nd because at number 1, The pound for pound best boxer in boxing, you already know, Alexander Usyk, and you can't say otherwise. If you say otherwise, you're wrong. Plain and simple. The Ring magazine have Usyk at pound for pound number 1. A lot of people think Usyk is pound for pound number 1, and so if they don't think it's him, they probably think it's fucking Terence Crawford. You're wrong, pal. Alexander Usyk is the best. After he beat Tyson Fury, should have stopped him in that round. I think he did. The ref bit dodgy there. Should have stopped that. Most refs in England or in another country, they'd have stopped that fight. Alexander Usyk, best heavyweight of this generation, probably is. I mean, he's beat Joshua twice. He's beat Fury, and they're the best. I mean, who else even is to fight in heavyweights? He's already beat Daniel Dubois. He's the up-and-coming boxer. No point in fighting Zhilei Zhang because he'd just probably beat him, even though that would be an interesting fight because he's so much bigger than Usyk. But I think Usyk could keep it a very boring fight, very much on the out foot. So I think that wouldn't be a good fight to watch. You've got Hrgovic. Hrgovic lost to Dubois, and Usyk beat Dubois. He's beat everyone in the heavyweights. He's going to fight Fury in the rematch. And this is a lot of people saying Fury could beat him. And he could. Because the last fight wasn't the biggest of margins. It was still a close fight. But I do think Usyk will win the rematch against Tyson Fury because he's just that much better. Because he will go to points unless Fury lands a knockdown. Probably not going to happen because when have you seen Usyk get knocked down? Not very often. He got knocked down to Dubois. It wasn't a low blow, but Usyk knew what he was doing. He's a very smart boxer. He played off as a low blow. He went down in my ratings after that fight because I thought Dubois won that fight because of that. Anyway, he did dominate the fight either way. And Usyk, you can't even remember. Usyk, he's undisputed cruiserweight champion before this. How mental of a career to go to the Olympics, have one of the best amateur records, having 350 fights. I think he won gold at the Olympics. Then he went to cruiserweight, dominated the division, undisputed. Tony Bellew fight was when everyone first heard of Usyk in the mainstream boxing. That was an amazing fight. And Bellew did alright, but Usyk was just too much better than him. So he dominated cruiserweight, undisputed cruiserweight, and then he thought, I'm going to go up to heavyweight. Had a few warm-up fights, and then beat Joshua, then he beat Fury. 2-weight undisputed world champion in the 2 heaviest weights, and now he's talking about going back down to cruiserweight and beating Jai Opetaia. He's the best in the world right now. No one can dethrone him. He's just simply the best. Simply the best. Yes, that is what he is. And I don't think, if you put down in the comments if you think otherwise, I think he's pound for pound, and I think he'll beat Fury in the rematch. And if he goes down to cruiserweight, he probably will beat Opetaia because he's that much better than him. But in my opinion, I think Usyk should retire after this fight because there's nothing much else for him to prove. He's the best. If he went down to cruiserweight and won all the belts there, fair play to him, that would be amazing. So, there's my pound for pound rankings. First, Usyk. Second, Canelo. Third, Inoue. Fourth, Bivol. And 5, Bud Crawford. Put down in the comments what you think to that. That is the video. Thanks for watching. I'm going to be uploading every single day. New boxing content. Going to be doing reviews of fights. There's obviously a big fight this weekend. A Boxer Sky Sports show of Chris Billion Smith against Richie Riakpo. Will I do watch-alongs in the future? I might do. But I need to set my computer up so I can get a good live stream going. But thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Appreciate the support. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.